Hey guys, it's your pal Victor here, and hey, we're here to do a toy review, and today we're going to review the McFarlane Injustice 2 Page Punchers Batman. Alright, so we're going to open this guy up, see what it's all about right now. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Injustice 2. I love fighting games. If you know me, that's a big part of my video gaming interests. I'm all about fighting games. I have Mortal Kombat 11, 9, 10, all the Street Fighter stuff, and playing that since I was a kid. I'm not a big video gamer now, but when I do play, it's usually either that or retro stuff like Castlevania, but I really like Injustice 2. I like how it branched out from Injustice 1 in an interesting way. I like that it's got the Ninja Turtles and Hellboy and a lot of other cool characters. And I like that it's kind of like adjacent to Mortal Kombat. You know, it's sort of like, you know, in the Mortal Kombat universe, since NetherRealm was part of Warner Brothers. But McFarlane has done a few Injustice figures as part of his DC Multiverse line. He did Gorilla Grodd, which I think is an awesome figure. He did Dr. Fate as like the follow-up, which again, I like that Dr. Fate design, but I'm not crazy to have like a Dr. Fate in my display. You know, not one of my first superpowers toys, not so much into that character as much nowadays. But they just put out a new line of Page Punchers, which is his Target exclusive line that comes with a comic book, polybag comic book, trading card, and a stand. These usually come across for $24.99, and he did an Injustice comic just so he could do Injustice figures in this line. So here's the box. We already took him out because, of course, these boxes are always a little bit of a thing to take out. Here is the barcode, because these are super, super hard to find. I was there when my Target put these out, and there was one Batman and one Green Arrow, and that was it. And that was a couple weeks ago, and I have not seen any since. Here's the back showing off the toy. As far as some guys on the cover here, we've got Green Arrow who's out, and the Supergirl, which has been leaked. I hope they don't do a third Dr. Fate, and hopefully we get Superman or somebody as a third figure to round this out, or maybe it'll just be the two. But this is a package. Again, it's a DC Direct figure, which McFarlane now controls. DC Direct, which is one of my all-time favorite lines. I have tons of DC Direct stuff, even in the shelf behind me. So yeah, this is the Injustice Batman. All right, you can look him up to the source material. This gray is actually very dead on. He comes with 2 batarangs, and he comes with 1 open hand. But he's got the ball joint. So here's the thing a lot of people complain about with these figures, like, you know, like, oh, they don't have, you know, open hands or whatnot. Because of this ball joint system, sorry for the crunching, you can just pop the hands out and replace them with another figure that has a hand that you like. So that's kind of a little trick. So if you have a lot of these Batmans, just switch out his hands for 2 open ones, you know? And that's kind of the smart way to get your 2 open hand Batmans. I mean, you shouldn't have to, but, you know, people like variety. So I'm not going to go crazy talking about the articulation. He's got the Fortnite 22 points of articulation scheme. I will say, once again, he has a really beautiful sculpted cape. If you don't like those, you know, there's lots of third-party people who will handle that for you. But what I will say is, try to get this in focus. I haven't mastered this yet, but dude, his head is awesome. And he doesn't have the side eye. This is almost like a gray tech Keaton Batman. I mean, look at this stuff. You know, he's got the little shoulder pads, he's got the butterfly elbows and all that stuff. But this is a dead-on translation of the Injustice Batman color scheme. There's some parts that are clearly cast in gray, but like for reals, this is one of the few McFarlane figures where I'm gonna go, they didn't really cheap out on the color scheme all that much, because his face is just really well done, and that's what I'm really gonna look at here. And it looks better in person than it does in camera. You know, like right there is a good kind of example of what he would look like on your shelf. This guy's gonna go with my Mortal Kombat figures for sure. But I mean, I like all the folds in his undersuit. This is almost like a video game version of the tech suit Batman from Justice League, where this is all on top of an undersuit. Actually very similar, even in the similar kind of, like, I wish they had done like a darker undersuit like this, or a lighter undersuit for the Justice League Batman. And you've given us a head without goggles too, no less. But I really like this. I think this is awesome. Let me see. Let me show you and he stands really easily, which is, you know, nice for a change. Sometimes these figures, like the Arkham Knight figure, always has a hard time standing until you kind of, some of them better than others. I think the sculpt kind of was compromised a little bit, or the articulation was compromised a little bit because of the sculpt, and that made it difficult for that figure to kind of stand naturally. But this guy's got a good kind of natural standing pose, like he's heroic. I wish this had been the open hand. Like I said, it's not a big deal, and it turns really easily. But here's the batarang that it comes with right here, which is right out of the game. It loads into his hand really easily too. You know, I would actually turn that the other way, but you know, there's like a lot of different ways to do it. It comes with 2 batarangs. I think that's just if you lose one. Although his belt is like a separate piece, so you could totally just tuck it in the back, which is cool. But yeah, I like this figure a lot. He's hard to find. Keep your eye out. If you see him, just grab him. I would do that. But I really like his cape, or his mask. It's very much like a marriage of the Christian Bale and Keaton looks, and the black and gray is a real interesting approach to it. I almost wish they had deviated and made this black, but hey, you can do that yourself if you want. But it also just looks cool, and it does look just like this in the game. So you know, it's a cool design. I dig it. There's like a cool, you know, I don't know if it shows up on camera here too well, but there is a really cool like tactile pattern on the cape. Just kind of makes it shiny. But yeah, overall, if you're gonna get, you know, some people get mad about how many Batman figures are in these lines, but I've been wanting an Injustice Batman, and I'm glad they went with this design instead of the one from Injustice 1, which is awful. So this is the one to go. You know, he stands at about 7 inches tall. So he mixes in well with other characters that might have that tech look. These two are roughly about the same size here, Ghostmaker and Injustice Batman. So, and I like Ghostmaker a lot. He blends in like so many lines. So yeah, same size as Ghostmaker, just a little over 7 inches. Stands well, comes with 2 batarangs. Get your Injustice Batman figure, Target exclusive. If you find it, grab it. And that's my review here at Cult Classics. Feel free to like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. I'm glad you didn't suck, because I would have hated to have spent this whole review talking about how the articulation, blah, blah, blah. But this is the kind of thing where articulation works well, because it's a techie kind of almost Iron Man-y thing where like the articulation blends into the sculpt well. And thankfully, McFarlane spent some time on the making the articulation work here. So, all right, thanks for tuning in, guys.